everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday's Winning Woman. I'm really excited about this one because this is one of my friends. She's been in the game for a while. We've worked in tandem in various organizations and with each other more recently. And just a great personality, a fun person to talk to and have you guys learn from. On the bio, as it were, she's currently the VP of Contact Center for Telarus, but she's also the RVP at Observe AI, VP of Channel over at PAX8, and also a channel leader for TalkDesk, which is where we originally met. So without further ado, my fellow sneakerhead and channel guru, please help me welcome Sam Nelson to the program.
What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's so funny because I'm gonna get into the program in a minute, but I love the background. Every time I see you, like every time I do it, I'm like, yeah, she got them. I was like, I don't have those. I wonder, you know, I look and see what's back there, what's on display.
I try to switch them up.
I know you keep for those of us that are paying attention. I know you got to keep it interesting. So, I did mention that you're currently head of contact center practice over at Telarus. So tell us about that. What's that role? What do you do?
Yeah, so it's a really exciting role actually because I get to flex my brain actually quite on a daily basis quite a bit. So essentially my job is twofold, right? It's leading the practice area of contact center and CX. So making sure that our partners have access to the right suppliers, the game-changing suppliers, and then on the flip side, my job is also to make sure that we've got the education from an enablement standpoint to make sure that all of our partners can sell more contact center and CX technology. That's really the role in a nutshell. And there's a group of 5 of us. It's like me and 4 other guys. Used to be 5 guys, but now it's 4 guys and this girl. So
yeah, it used to be 5 guys, and it's kind of fun because you say you get to kind of flex your muscle a little bit, and in that group you got to do that, you know.
But you absolutely do.
Yeah, you got to do that. And I mean, we always knew you could hold your own, so that was not a concern at all. Okay, so I have 3 set questions that I ask, and so we're gonna go through those and we'll talk a little bit. The first one is, I said in the beginning, you're currently at Telarus, you were at TalkDesk, you were at PAX8, Observe AI. We're not gonna forget that because you guys did some mega stuff while you were over there. No offense, John, but you did some big things while you were over there. So, but if you look back at your career and your accomplishments, if you had to pick one, proud moment or something you're excited that you accomplished, give me one of those things. Give me.
Yeah, I would have to say that it was my very first. You were actually there. One of my very first partner facing presentations, and I'm talking like a room full of at least 50 people presentations, and I was the only female. Yeah.
Yes, I was there for that. You're right.
And I was the only female up there. And as soon as I stood up, something just came over me. Like it was like a Roxy Hart moment where like the spotlight was on me. It was dazzle dazzle. And I just killed it. Like it was cool because it not only was an opportunity for me to get in front, but for me to kind of get the validation of, hey, you can do this. You know what you're talking about. And actually people are listening.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that moment when I was able to get up there and all of a sudden everyone was just like, oh, who is this? Right.
Yes.
And that was really cool. That was my first taste of like, I think I like what I'm doing.
I like it. And I wanna say this politically correctly because I don't want to call out anybody else because that was a panel. I mean, there was, there was other people. I'm not saying any names, but I'm thinking that some of them probably wish you weren't there.
Yeah.
I remember exactly how that went, and you crushed it, and you've been crushing it since then. I mean, it's kind of funny because I don't like to say things like people say you can be a natural leader or natural speaker. I think any skill set you want, you can go learn how to do. But
sure.
I really did feel like once you stood up and took a breath, I think the best thing about it was that you were just calm in your delivery. You were just you weren't, some people overthink it. Some people, I got to make sure I say this, I got to make sure I say that. But Yeah, man, you nailed that, and I've seen you several
Thank
times
you.
since then. So I I
Thank
I,
you.
I agree with that one. Um, let's talk a little bit about goals. I know that I'm talking to icons in these episodes, and you don't get to be successful without having a plan, knowing where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. So I'm not going to go through your whole list, but give me one. Give me one of Sam's 2023 goals.
Yes. Well, I would just say professionally, because I have professional and personal, right? And I think it's
Of
important
course.
that we marry them together because in my competitive spirit, of course, they're going to be kind of on the same track, right? But a really big, I would say, professional goal for me this year is to really capitalize on very kind of influential sort of media, things like social media, right? We have to start embracing sort of this next wave of folks coming into this business, which is why I think maybe a lot of people in younger generations just don't know about it, is because
Mhm.
we're not reaching out to them with the channels that they're used to communicating on, right? And so in the launch of like my minute snippets that I just did on LinkedIn, more exposure just generally, digitally to those guys, I think is really, really big for me this year to make sure that I'm constantly doing everything I can to stay top of mind and giving back to the generations to come and making sure they know that we exist. Gosh, personally, like I do CrossFit. There's several things I can't do, and there are things I want to do. So, a strict pull up would be great. So
Yeah.
that's what
Uh,
that looks like.
so we got some personal goals in there as well. I mean, I know you work out. I know you're doing CrossFit, so that's good to point out. I like the goal about using the social media, different media, because we always say nobody goes to school for channel, right? It's not like you get a degree in the channel, and so for a lot of people, they have no idea this industry even exists and how to get into it. There's a plethora of opportunities here for people of all walks of life. So it's just something else. I got to talk about this really quick. The snippets, man. I freaking love those things. I like.
Thank
I
you.
would tell you, in the technology space, sometimes we have a tendency to overcomplicate things because it's technology, and people are like, "Oh, this does this," especially our area, which is very complex. Um, I love the snippets because I feel like a business owner, a partner can look at them and grasp the concept.
Yeah, and you had to think, how do we as consumers like to consume content? Think
Mhm.
about like what are people doing in their downtime? A lot of them are actually just on TikTok. And how long
Yeah,
are those little
exactly.
TikTok segments? Those things are like 5 to 10 seconds. So,
Right.
right? But they cater really well to you and you remember that kind of stuff. So that's really why I came out with it. I appreciate the feedback. I'm glad you find it
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. But I want you to give me something that you would tell young Sam. What piece of advice or word of wisdom or nugget would you share with your younger self?
Mhm. There's one nugget I had to share with myself to a younger Sam at regardless of age. It
Mm.
would be take people up on the help that they offer you.
Wow.
Because when I was growing up, I grew up as an only child. And, really, I grew up with my dad constantly saying, hey, be somebody, right?
Hmm.
Be someone. And I wasn't like bound for Hollywood. I wasn't going to make it to Wimbledon, even though I played tennis because I'm super short. And I wasn't going to Michael Chang it for the rest of my life. So I thought, okay, well, if there's one thing that I would have definitely taken more advantage of younger is, when people say, hey, if you ever want to talk about this stuff or you want to run it by me or you want my opinion or if you need any introductions, by all means, I should have taken way more of those opportunities because it would have opened my mind up to more opportunities at an earlier age.
Oh wow. Wow. Wow, that's pretty profound. That and it's interesting because for some people that goes a little deep, right? Some people have a hard time asking for help or even receiving help when it's offered.
Exactly. And that
Because
was what I was growing up in was, hey, you go figure it out yourself. But you have to realize that you're only going to get exposed to what others expose to you, right? And if you take them up on the help, then you have the opportunity to say, okay, let me take advantage of what knowledge you have. And then the more knowledge you can grab, the better off you are at making just general decisions, whether that's in life or in your career.
yeah, yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, I wasn't around for for that version, but I can take that now. I think that's still good advice. So we're doing.
Tell me about it. I have to remind myself every day.
I want to thank you for sharing and for being a part of our program. And I want to thank my viewers for watching this episode of Wednesday's Winning Woman. And as always, we admonish you to do 3 things. We want you to acknowledge, support, and promote. So we're going to acknowledge Sam in her role. If you're not already following her, if you're not already connected on LinkedIn, then make that happen. Watch the snippets, right? That's the support thing, watch and comment on the things that she has going on the network, and promote. If there's an opportunity for you to do business with Sam and Talaris, then do that. All right, that's what we want. So we thank you for, hopefully you enjoyed this episode and learned a little bit more about Sam than you knew before. We'll see you next week.